Sean P. Diddy Combs' mom, Janice, waving to the crowd, his children breaking into smiles as they leave the federal courthouse in downtown Manhattan after the stunning verdict. Shouts of congratulations fill the air as they climb into a waiting van. He was found not guilty of racketeering, the most serious charge. He was also found not guilty on 2 counts of sex trafficking. But he was found guilty on 2 lesser charges.
He was found guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Each carries a maximum of 10 years behind bars.
Sean Diddy Combs was denied bail today following his conviction on prostitution-related charges, ensuring he remains behind bars until his October 3rd sentencing. Judge Subramanian ruled that, despite acquittals on the most serious sex trafficking and racketeering counts, Combs' history of violence makes him a continued risk.
Sean Diddy Combs has had his bail application denied. So what's happened there is that the judge has sided with the government.
Defense attorney Mark Agnafilo had offered a $1 million cash bond, co-signed by Combs' mother, sister, and the mother of his eldest daughter, along with strict travel restrictions, drug testing, and passport surrender.
Combs' lawyers had argued for a $1 million bond, while prosecutors claim that Diddy posed a danger to the community if he was released. And so again, the judge has sided with the prosecution.
The judge rejected all conditions, and Combs, who appeared deflated and attempted to speak at one point, will wait in custody for his next court date. Combs' legal battle began when federal prosecutors charged him with a sweeping racketeering conspiracy tied to an alleged network of sex trafficking. The indictment included 5 counts: sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, racketeering conspiracy, transportation to engage in prostitution, and related charges.
They have found Sean Combs not guilty of leading a criminal enterprise, not guilty of racketeering conspiracy. They will now move to the other 4 counts, 2 of them on sex trafficking.
After a 7-week trial, the jury cleared him of the most serious allegations, sex trafficking and racketeering, but found him guilty on 3 prostitution-related counts: transporting individuals for prostitution, patronizing a prostitute, and conspiracy to commit prostitution. Those convictions carry up to 10 years behind bars. Despite the partial victory, the remaining counts still expose Combs to substantial prison time, setting the stage for today's failed bail bid. Defense attorney Mark Agnafilo outlined a comprehensive bail package designed to keep Combs under strict supervision. The proposal included a $1 million cash bond, co-signed by Combs' mother, Janice, his sister Kesha, and Sarah Chapman, the mother of his eldest daughter, Chance. Combs' private jet would remain grounded in Maui, his passport surrendered to the court, and he would submit to regular drug testing. Travel would be limited strictly to New York, Florida, and California, solely for court appearances and meetings with counsel. Agnafilo emphasized these measures would eliminate any flight risk or interference with witnesses. Despite the stringent terms and multiple guarantors, the judge deemed them insufficient to mitigate the perceived dangers. Judge Subramanian firmly rejected the bail package, citing Combs' years-long pattern of violence and concluding that no conditions could reasonably assure the safety of the community. He noted Combs' access to extensive financial resources and private travel options, including his grounded jet, heightened the flight risk. Subramanian referenced prior incidents of harassment and threats tied to Combs' behavior, underscoring that the defendant has demonstrated an inability to comply with court orders and remains a danger to others. With those findings, the judge ruled that pre-sentencing detention was necessary despite the defense's strict supervision plan.
And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough. They acquitted him of the sex trafficking, which he was absolutely innocent of. They acquitted him of the racketeering conspiracy that he was absolutely innocent of, and all of the components to it. The kidnapping, he was innocent of that. The arson, he was innocent of that. The obstructing justice, he was innocent of that.
As the judge delivered his ruling, Combs sat forward, sending rapid notes to attorney Agnafilo. At one point, he raised his hand and stood, appearing ready to address the court. But after a private exchange with his lawyers, he remained silent. Witnesses noted his shoulders slump and eyes lower as the bail denial was finalized. There was no outburst or statement from Combs. He simply watched as court officers escorted him back to the holding cell, his legal team gathering their papers in resigned silence. Combs will remain in federal custody until his sentencing hearing scheduled for October 3, 2025. At that hearing, prosecutors will recommend a sentence based on federal guidelines, which suggest 5 to 10 years for his convictions, but allow the judge discretion to impose more or less time.
The judge is going to decide whether he gets to stay in custody. But say he is released, he's going to have to come back in a couple of months. Both sides are going to trade papers about what they think an appropriate sentence would be.
Following sentencing, Combs's team is expected to file an appeal challenging both the guilty verdicts and today's bail decision. In the meantime, his attorneys can petition for bond pending appeal, but must overcome the same flight risk and public safety concerns that prevailed in today's hearing. His next court appearance, a status conference, has been set for August 15th, when both sides will update the court on pre-sentencing motions and any bond requests. Combs's bail denial compounds the fallout from his convictions, immediately stalling several of his business ventures and prompting sponsors to reevaluate partnerships. His media platform, Revolt, has delayed planned launches and live events, while pending deals with fashion and beverage brands face suspension as companies seek to avoid reputational risk. On social media, hashtags calling for boycotts of Combs's music and product lines began trending within hours of today's ruling, and streaming numbers for his latest releases dipped by double digits. Financial analysts warn that extended incarceration could erode his estimated $900 million net worth if asset values decline and income streams dry up, putting pressure on his team to negotiate interim revenue sources or consider licensing existing catalog rights.